Let's build Nigeria. Sanusi Lamido begs youth not to japa and gives strong reasons. The former mayor of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, has called on Nigerian youth to quit their plans to leave the country in search of greener pastures. The cable reports that Sanusi made a plea to the youth while speaking in Lagos on Sunday at a stage play titled A Truth in Time. The event, which showcased the life and times of the former emir, was written by Ahmed Yarima, a professor of drama at the Redeemers University, and produced by the Duke of Shomolu Productions. According to the former traditional leader, young people across the country need to start developing their talents. The youth in Nigeria were also urged to make efforts to hold leaders and public office holders accountable. The Punch reports that Sanusi said he has been warned and even accused severally of criticizing the government publicly. Noting that the country is facing difficult times, Sanusi warned that Nigeria would not move forward unless the youths take ownership of the country. This is the position of the 14th Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who is known for public criticism of government policies he found not to be good enough. Sanusi also revealed that okay, a second. So yeah, Sanusi also revealed that what many did not know was that he would advise the officials privately. I mean, listen, the talk of the youths owning the country is the most in true words, it's just lack of accountability of previous generations because you were in your youth, what did you do? I think again, obviously talking about accountability, the Nigerian society, the older and younger generation have to take accountability. And the main accountability here when it comes to, taking back your country, building yourselves and how we are as a society requires a huge accountability from the older generation of not doing what they're meant to do in their youth and putting the job times two on the younger generation to do it. So I'm genuinely so tired. I know, when it comes to the country's productivity, we need the young hands, we need the energy. That is literally what our productivity is based on. And of course, I understand that, and that works for the country's growth in so many ways. But leaving the future and the workability or the functionality of the Nigerian society and just Nigeria at large solely as the responsibility of the youth is so selfish and so lazy of the older generation. It really is. Because again, obviously, as time goes on, you know, as time goes on, the expectations that the next generation they do get better, but the fact is you're really asking the youth to start from scratch because we have not built we haven't built a mentality in our society where we want to build. Let's be very honest. We have not built a society where nationalism and unity and wanting to be the part of your country is a thing. There is no time in the history of Nigeria where anyone felt proud. Well, from what I know, starting from 1999, from this constitution that they've literally wrote up for themselves. But we haven't built a society where we value national building. We haven't. So we're really having to starting again. And really, the change is not necessarily the function or the productivity of Nigerians, but the change really comes from our mentality. And that is where the biggest change needs to come from. And of course, yes, leadership is very much important, but then how do you then lead, you know, because what you're literally asking is for a president for the youth and the youth only. Because really, you're going to have to lead people with a certain mentality for you to push across what you want to do and achieve your aims. But I think where this is going is the fact that there's just so much pressure on the youth only. Listen, the older ones are also meant to be advising the youth on what to do in several aspects of life, not just saying, you know what, this is in your hands. So if you want a Nigeria that's good for you, you better fix up. Listen, can we talk about how you did not play your part? Like, let's talk about it, you know? And I'm not saying that the youth, and again, looking at how the youth of Nigeria is, again, one of the most perfect, but they are very much fundamental, even worse issues that we have right now, given just how the world works. So you now have really smart youths that are working in a very backward system, but then their minds are so forward because their minds have evolved with the world and are literally ahead, but then are applying backward principles and mentalities, Nigerian mentalities, and it's just not working. There's just so much confusion. So really, I mean, again, it's good that he's talking about this, but I don't think he's in a position to tell the Nigerian youth all this. I mean, yes, he can obviously come across and tell the Nigerian youth, give your advice, do your thing, take pictures at events and all that. But really, this kind of talk we should be hearing it from a presidential aspirant. That's what I personally think. This is what needs to happen, because I think the focus on how this conversation will usually go is to talk about, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi himself, and talk about how what he's done, and if he has a right to talk about it. But really, the issue is the Nigerian society at large. So how do we then fix that? Because it's not necessarily that the Nigerian youth cannot work, it is the mindset behind working, the mindset of our behaviors, the mindset of how we hold ourselves accountable. It is how we think, and that is where everything, all of these issues, that is where they're coming from. It is as simple as that. So until we sort of get, you know, I don't see anything else changing, to be honest. And because we have not built a society where we value our own country, and we are so, we are so divided. I mean, it's the mindset. Even when things are not as bad, Nigerians still wanted to go abroad. Like, not in a way where it's as intense as now, but it's like the mentality of going abroad. You just associate it. Of course, it's conditioning, but you associate it with living a better life, with having better, yeah, literally living a better life, and being better. And what we've done over the years is undermine ourselves so much, because that's what you're doing. What you're really doing is promoting an outside that you cannot reach, or that you can reach, but whatever it is, you're promoting what is outside and not valuing what is inside. And the best way to devalue something very quick is to compare it. So what we've done is devalued ourselves so much that things, and obviously the country retrogressing makes the decision even easier to want to go abroad. But because we don't value ourselves and we don't value our country and we're so divided, there is no need to build the nation. If the older generation had this mentality as well, they would have put it in the kids, to be honest. Let's be like, literally, they've put it in the younger generation, and the older generation would be banging it on every young generation, or every young person, every youth. The same way the older generation valued education, as in the older generation would work their heads off to send their children to school to get that education. Very important. It's the same way with every other kind of mentality. For example, in nation building, if they have hammered it in Nigerians' heads, then we would have a different outcome right now. And that is the truth. So really, it's all the society issues. But if you want to talk about Sanusi Lamido, and if he has the right to say it and what he's done in the past, well, you can go ahead, feel free to do it. Put what you think about this, and don't forget to like and subscribe.